Okay, so just give a short little pause just before you start, like a 2-second pause, and I'll hand over to you now.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks. Hello and welcome. My name is Matt Hurst from Ribbon, and I'd firstly like to thank West Comstore for the opportunity to present to you here at the Imagine event. And today I'm going to take you through a session that talks around enterprise voice in the cloud. So as I mentioned, my name is Matt Hurst. I'm technical director at Ribbon, and I've been working for quite a number of years with enterprises and partners to help them understand the challenges and overcome some of the challenges with moving telephony voice into the cloud. So as I go through the deck, I'm going to firstly start out with some of the challenges and common feedback that we get from customers and from partners who are engaging on this journey to the cloud. So I would say the first thing is that one size doesn't fit all. Every enterprise, every customer has a different set of requirements. They have a different landscape of offices, of PBX systems, of voice elements that all need bringing together and bringing into the 21st century and moving into the cloud. Enterprises feel that they need to move to the cloud. They feel that they should be doing something, and they want to realize some of the cost savings and efficiencies of cloud-based solutions. When it comes to voice, the challenges can be many, and what you'll generally find is that not all locations and not all offices and not all customers are the same. There's a mix and match of different types of infrastructure, different types of requirements that all need bringing into consideration when you're making this move. So the best thing when you engage with customers is to take a migrationary approach, take a hybrid approach, get a mix and match of both cloud and on-premise elements to help them on this journey. So you must engage with your customers and understand how they need to migrate and what some of their challenges are. So here at Ribbon, we work both in that enterprise space with our customers, but also in the service provider space. So we work with some of the largest tier one carriers across the globe, and we can also see and have a unique perspective of how that shift from the enterprise is affecting the carriers and what's happening on the carrier side as well. So what we can see is that communications are rapidly evolving. Service providers are also recognizing this need to move to the cloud to become more agile and to provide additional value-added services to their customers. Customers are absolutely consuming this. Enterprises at the forefront of that cloud migration. They're looking for different ways to achieve it. Partners are looking for different revenue streams to help their customers on that journey and not lose that tactile connection with their customer. Because obviously, as things move to the cloud, as things move to services, the customer's loyalty is really hard to maintain because they've now got much more flexibility, much more choice to be able to offer and consume different services from their service provider customers. So the landscape is shifting and it is driving a need to evolve. We can see that the shift from traditional CapEx spends to more OpEx models. That's driving as a service. Move to the cloud. As I mentioned, there's public cloud, there's private cloud. It drives the need for flexible, unified communications as a service offerings, flexible cloud-based offerings. And then, as I mentioned, key for our partners here is customer retention. How can you remain sticky with your customer and have that customer loyalty? How can you demonstrate your benefit and your value add to your customers as they make that journey to a cloud-based platform? So now when it comes to cloud-based platforms, Microsoft Teams, it's a train and it's steaming down the track at quite a pace. I think it's undeniable with the current global situation, what has happened with platforms such as Teams. Teams has seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months. So I think that the global pandemic has not meant that customers have done things in a different way. I think it's just accelerated their move and their adoption of cloud-based solutions such as Microsoft Teams. So you can see on the graph here this huge exponential growth that we've seen with Microsoft Teams in that last section of the graph there. That's obviously enterprises, employees having to work from home, and they're deploying and using the tools to get that collaboration, to get that home working a reality. What we see now is that you've got a huge trained user group, a bubble of users that have started to adopt and use Teams that they haven't before. This is a great opportunity now for our partners to bring voice into that huge bubble of users. What we've seen over the years when it comes to unified communication platform migration is that generally the voice piece, the phone calls piece, is the last piece of the puzzle that comes in. So if you look at Teams, it's many things. It's not just a voice replacement platform for your old PBX. It's not just a chat platform. It's very much more than that. It's collaboration, it's channels, it's webinars, it's document sharing. And then one element of it is the phone calls piece. So it's all very well being able to collaborate and talk and have video chat with your local, your internal colleagues, but how about being able to extend that reach with voice to your customers, to your users that are not using that platform? That's where the phone calls piece comes in. And the reasons for it being the last piece of the puzzle to go in are many, but generally it's around the perceived complexity of doing that voice migration piece. And this comes down to that migration again. So just to explain this chart here. So Microsoft Office 365 with Teams and the phone system. The phone system is the PBX replacement element within Teams. And then in order to bring the dial tone, in order to provide phone numbers and PSTN, that's public switch telephone network, in order to have that connectivity to the PSTN, there are two options. On this side, you can see the Microsoft calling plans, and on this side, direct routing. So what are they? The Microsoft calling plans is where Microsoft fundamentally becomes your carrier. You port your contract for your telephony and your phone numbers across to Microsoft, and they provide everything for you from the cloud. The direct routing piece is where you maintain your existing carrier, you maintain your existing connectivity, and you use a qualified session border controller, or SBC, to connect that voice service into the Microsoft cloud. The pie chart and the numbers here represent the sort of the percentage split of customers to date who have gone with the calling plans and the customers to date that have gone direct routing. And you can see there's a vast majority have taken the direct routing approach. So let's look at why this is. Again, it's not just a single reason. The typical reasons we see is that availability and cost is a factor. The Microsoft calling plans are not available globally. They're available in certain geographic locations. In order for Microsoft to be able to provide that service, they fundamentally have to become a service provider carrier in each geographic location. So they're not available everywhere. Customers are quite often in the middle of a contract with their existing service provider. They may be happy with a service provider. They may have financial penalties if they want to exit early. So there may not be a choice for them. They have to use and stay with their existing carrier. And one of the big ones is interworking and integration of existing voice assets. As I mentioned earlier on the previous charts, migration is absolutely key. If you go for the calling plans approach, you don't have the option to be able to bring your old PBX and migrate users at your pace. You have to move everyone in one go. So what I'll show you in the next few slides is with the direct routing approach, how that flexibility enables you to migrate to Teams in the cloud at your pace. And that's really crucial for our customers. So in this chart here, we've got a range of service providers on the right-hand side, the Microsoft Cloud up here with all that phone system in, with some remote users, and I'm showing a session border controller here directly in the cloud. So the Ribbon session border controllers to interface between the Teams cloud and the service provider of your choice can reside in the Azure cloud within the Microsoft cloud. And we'll look at that further on the next slide. What I'm showing here, though, is the ability to integrate with a Ribbon certified SBC. As I mentioned, you can interface with any service provider anywhere in the globe. There's no restriction. They don't have to be qualified for Teams. That is achieved by using the Ribbon SBC. You can also support customers who've already started to make that journey to the Microsoft Cloud, but on the Skype for Business side. They can migrate from Skype for Business Online to Teams using the Ribbon SBC. You can coexist and migrate from existing on-premises based UC solutions. That could be a Skype for Business server. It could be something like Cisco CUCM. And also with the Ribbon platforms, you can integrate with legacy systems. So PBX systems that are not IP or SIP or VoIP enabled. They're traditional ISDN or analog devices on a legacy PBX. And then also SIP-based endpoints. Quite a lot of customers have meeting room phones or common area phones, which are just standard SIP-based devices. The Ribbon SBC can help bring together all of those elements make them work together smoothly, and also help that migration from one environment to another. Flexibility is key for our customers, and what we're seeing more and more now is flexibility about not only that migration, but also where they choose to deploy the session border controller. It used to be the session border controller would go on premise. That's not always the case now. So in this diagram, again, the Microsoft Cloud with some remote users, what we call digital nomads. That's you and I working from home at the moment. The service providers, again, with SIP trunks, and then the head office or the core location for this particular enterprise. You can choose to put the session border controller, either a hardware-based platform from Ribbon or a virtualized SWE, that's software edition SBC. You can deploy that in your enterprise HQ location or data center location. If that makes sense, if that's where your SIP trunks terminate, you can choose to do that. Some customers are migrating away from that. They don't want anything on premises. So that's where the Ribbon SBC in the Azure cloud comes into play. So it can be deployed straight from the marketplace, spun up and configured against your carrier, and that connectivity is achieved without anything on premises. And then let me bring in these remote branch offices down the bottom here. We've got 1, 2, 3 different examples of remote sites, smaller sites. Again, the requirements for integration are varied. So we have a range of hardware or virtualized platforms that can sit on premise, can help you integrate all of these legacy systems, analog devices, E1 circuits, UC-based solutions from different vendors, make them all work together, integrate the SIP trunks, and support that migration to the cloud. Okay, so with that simplicity, I wanted to move on to a fully cloud-based offering from Ribbon. It's called Ribbon Connect for Microsoft Teams, and it really helps to address some of these common barriers that I talked about to be able to offer that migration in a smooth and easy way for our partners. Existing investment in PBXs, customers can't afford to get rid of those. Existing service provider contracts, contact center, and legacy devices. What we're seeing and hearing from some of our partners is that they want to get on this journey with their customers, but at the moment, they don't really have a huge skill set in-house on the voice side. That's where Ribbon Connect comes in. So Ribbon Connect for Teams Direct Routing is a cloud-based service which is fully automated with a portal and an API to enable you to configure all the elements for connecting service provider SIP trunk and also optionally integrating a PBX without having lots of PowerShell script skills, SBC configuration skills. That's all taken away and it's simplified through an automated portal. It's a bring your own trunk service. So in this diagram, number 1 at the top here is the first option where you can connect a SIP trunk from any provider you choose into the Ribbon Connect cloud, which is based in Azure. That in turn connects into the Microsoft tenant for your customer. And then the user will be what we call a trunk user. So that's a Teams user enabled for voice through a SIP trunk. The second option, number 2, is where you have an on-premise PBX already, or it could be a cloud-based PBX. You have a service provider trunk already connected. You have a number of desk phones deployed against that PBX, but you don't have any users next to those desk phones anymore. So what can you do? What we can do with this second option is have a SIP registration down to that PBX from the Ribbon Connect cloud, which enables that voice circuit to be routed up through Ribbon Connect and reach the Teams user. So again, without lots of configuration skills in the SBC or the Teams tenant itself, we automate that through a web portal. So it's really enabling customers to move and integrate their existing PBX or contact center with that cloud-based deployment. It's a low-risk way for managers and our partners to get on board and help with this migration. Then as you build skill sets as a partner yourself, then you can start to do things and take on more of the management, more of the control. But to start with, Ribbon Connect for Microsoft Teams Direct Routing enables a very quick and easy way to get on board. So Ribbon and Microsoft have been working together for a number of years, and we work very closely in terms of our collaboration, joint development efforts, and also support. So the Ribbon SBCs, when used against the Microsoft Teams Direct Routing in any form, whether it's on premises, in the cloud, it's fully tested, qualified, and certified by Microsoft and by Ribbon. So it's really about that partnership to make remote working a reality, securing that voice services for everybody, all your workers, no matter where they are, and to provide that future-proof solution. So that brings me to the end of this short session. So I'd like to thank the audience and thank Westcon Comstore for the opportunity to present to you for this Imagine event. And just to remind all the people watching this to look out for a quiz, which will be coming shortly after this. Thanks very much.
Sorry, I was on mute. That was very well done. Thank you.
Is that all right?
That was a very smooth one, yeah. And just wanted to ask for you one more thing. We need to shoot a teaser video. Like you're inviting everyone to join us for the Imagine Middle East. So I put a little script here on the chat. So just mention hi, your name, designation, and ribbon, and invite the audience. Like join me at Imagine Middle East to explore. Then mention the topic that you were you presented a while ago.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just go to here.
Cool.
Just trying to think of a sort of a tagline to explore.
Hello.
Let's have a look. Okay, all right, no worries. Whenever you want.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to drop everybody else into the back, and then over to you now.
Hi, welcome. My name's Matt Hurst from Ribbon, and welcome to the. Oh, sorry. Can we do that again?
No problem. No problem. Just let me know when you're ready.
At least imagine. Let me just hold on. I'm looking at a window too far away. Might as well bring this down here. This screen. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So I'll drop out now. So over to you.
Hi, welcome. My name is Matt Hurst from Ribbon, and welcome. Oh no, sorry. Join me at Imagine Middle East. Right, let me know when you're good to go again.
Yep, over to you.
Hi, my name is Matt Hurst from Ribbon, and join me at the Imagine Middle East events and discover more around Microsoft Teams and direct routing and voice integration.
Perfect. I think that was actually fantastic. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, that went smooth, like Alex.
Fantastic. Thank you, Matt.
All right, no worries.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for your time. Do you need me to send you the slides in any format or?
No need.
Nope. Good. All right, fantastic. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you so
just
much.
one more question, Matt. Snabel had asked you for the quizzes questions or not yet?
Yes, I've sent them over.
All right. Cool.
Yep, you've got those questions.
Thank you so much again.
All right, thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Take care. Cheers. Bye.